everybody, and welcome to another chat with Deb. Today I want to talk about our high school makerspace. We use the design thinking model when putting it together, and I'm really excited to share with you what we've done in just the last month to kick off our makerspace in our high school. When we first got started, we literally had a blank slate and had to try to figure out how are we going to turn the space that we have into some type of a makerspace. So the pictures you're seeing here are before we even got started. We had limited furniture, we had very limited supplies, but somehow we knew we could turn this into a space where kids could play and tinker and try and experiment and use some various types of technology. To get started, I knew I wanted to be a maker myself, so I decided to upcycle some furniture that I went and found at a local thrift store. So I found this simple little end table and painted it with chalkboard paint, and it now is an area in which we put our breakout EDU box. And here's another just rolling cart that I was able to upcycle and use. And you know, what better way to start out a makerspace than showing students that we can make something out of used furniture. Now to get started, we knew we were going to use a design thinking model to help us plan and implement this makerspace. So the steps of design thinking are listed right here, starting with define and working your way down and around. So we're going to research, we're going to ideate, prototype, choose, implement, and learn. So using these different steps, we were able to start out with first defining our space. So we knew that in this space we wanted to have a non-traditional learning place that looked different than what learning does in a classroom. We knew we wanted our students to be able to use some problem-solving skills as well as critical thinking. We knew we wanted to have exposure to new technologies as well as just exposure to interesting, current, up-to-date events that would draw in people from all over, including our students and our teachers and the community. Along with that, we wanted a space that would allow people to tinker and explore and create just like a true makerspace should do. We wanted to have a space that we knew we wanted to give voice to. We want this space to be not just what the technology integration specialists think it should be, or what the library media specialist thinks it should be, but rather a space where many people have a voice as to what it should become and what it should be. In other words, not necessarily defining the space too much that we restricted what went in that space, but rather leaving it a little bit open, being able to try many different ideas, whatever might come our way. After we defined our space, we did some research. One thing that we got started was my coworker and I made a Pinterest board, and we both contribute to this Pinterest board so that we can start to gather ideas and just interesting websites that are out there, and just started compiling lots of information on makerspaces. Here's a link to our Pinterest board if you want to follow us on Pinterest. And the other thing we did for research was we went to several websites that were super helpful. Makerespaces.com is one of them. Diana Rendina has a website called Renovated Learning, and it's all about her makerspace. I've learned so much from Diana and all that she's done. The Tinkering Studio is an awesome site for anyone starting a makerspace. They have so many great ideas on that site of different types of activities that you can incorporate into your space. Design Thinking in Makerspaces is where much of the inspiration for our makerspace came from. And then, of course, I always rely on my PLN on Twitter, because is there anything better than all of the educators that are out there who tweet out daily about makerspaces and what they can all do and share all of their awesome knowledge. And for me, the steps of ideate and prototype are by far the most fun. I love taking ideas that I have and actually making them a reality. We had so much fun putting together the different stations in our makerspace. We started out with first knowing we wanted to do what we call a take-apart electronics cart. That idea I actually got from another member of the Intel Engage community, and that is Velvet Homes. So we went thrift shopping, found a whole bunch of old electronics, got a couple tools, and put them on a cart. That has gone over pretty big with our high school students. I must say that actually most of the things we had on our cart have now been demolished. So we're looking into possibly taking the demolished electronics and trying to find a way to use them in some type of artwork. We're thinking possibly of a sign that maybe we can make to put in our makerspace. Another idea that we had for our makerspace, which we knew right away we wanted to incorporate was Breakout EDU. This is very similar to experiencing an escape room where you try to solve clues and break out of a room that you're locked into. But the idea here is that you have a box with locks on it and you're trying to solve clues to unlock the locks to get into the box. This has been a really popular station in our makerspace. A while back we had purchased a green screen for our school, and we knew this would be a very easy way to incorporate some great technology into our space. And so far we've had one teacher come down and use the green screen for an academic project that the students were working on. We're looking to have hopefully more teachers and students show interest in green screening and using this as we set it up as a photo booth for the beginning of the year. We're very fortunate that we had some funding available to be able to paint one of the walls in our makerspace with idea paint, and this is starting to really take off. We're using it just as an idea wall, posting some type of a prompt. Our first prompt was simply what makes East High School great, and allowing students to have a voice to post onto that wall their thoughts, their ideas. And the sixth station in our makerspace is by far my favorite, and that is a virtual reality station, where we put a bunch of different virtual reality headsets, and then we gave the students directions on how to download the Google Street Map to be able to view different areas around the world in a 360-degree view. And I almost forgot about this station. This is a no-text station, which we called Hack Your Chromebook Name Tag. Our students keep their Chromebooks in a case, and that case has a little pocket for their name tag. So we made a whole section just for being able to hack or create a more original, creative name tag to go in the pocket of your Chromebook case. Many students have taken advantage of this part of our makerspace. Once everything was set up, it was time to implement. That's the next step of design thinking. And boy, have we been having fun watching the students come into our makerspace and use the different stations we set up. So this is a picture of where we have your Hack Your Chromie name tag. You can also see on this board right here, these are the different green screen backgrounds that are available to students to use on the green screen. Here are some students writing on our idea wall and telling us what they think makes Appleton East High School so great. And here are some students working on the Breakout EDU box. A few more pictures. Here are a few students that were checking out the virtual reality headsets. And here's a group of students hacking their Chromie name tags. Implementation of our makerspace has been pretty successful so far. We're still looking to get more involvement from teachers and students, but overall we're feeling pretty good about the fact that students are starting to come in and recognize the space as a space for them to be able to use. When it comes to design thinking, one of the last steps is to learn from what you've done and then go back and re-loop or go through the design process again. So trying new ideas, trying new prototypes, testing them out, implementing them, and seeing where they go. This is where we're at right now as we move from the month of September into the month of October. We need to get input from people such as the teachers, the students, the parents. We need to look into the community. We need to ask our PLN. And we also need to go back to our committee that we have and get input from all directions, because we really truly do not want this to just be a space in which the technology integration specialists are the deciding factors of what the space is used for and what goes into the space. We really need to learn from all the folks who are involved, and especially from those using the space. So moving on forward, we're hoping to get a lot of input, a lot of involvement, and a lot of voice from the folks who are truly the ones using the space. And as of right now, we are just in the celebrating mode, knowing that we at least have this space, and we're so excited that teachers and students have a place to go that's innovative, creative, and allows them to explore. Thanks for listening to this chat with Deb. I hope you're all doing well as you kick off your school year, and we'll talk again soon.